suck me up small, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness take control. Let the darkness take control.
Welcome to the fray, Flak Pack. It's Termex here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 build video. And in today's build video, I'm going to be going over my Mindflare Gamma Burst Flak build. I've been wanting to do a Gamma Burst build for quite a while now, and now that I could finally do it, I got all the gear I needed. I went through DLCs to get the Pearl of Knowledge again. I've done a lot of stuff, so I have to say I apologize for the delays in the builds, just because it's been taking me a while to get all this stuff back. But before we get too in-depth with this video, I just want to say to you guys, thank you. I don't know if any of you could tell. It probably sounds exactly the same knowing me, but I did buy a brand new microphone, and it's basically all for YouTube, maybe into Twitch into the future. But I don't know. I'm still debating on how I'm going to do Twitch streams, but that's farther into the future. But yes, I do have a new mic. Hopefully I don't sound too different, but this mic is a lot better than my older mic. I used to have a blue Snowball. That's how I used to record all my videos, and I just want to say thank you, because without you guys, it wouldn't even be possible to make these sort of upgrades. So yeah, thank you, and also thank you for almost 6,000 subscribers. I thank you. But yes, in today's build, let's go over into the skill tree. Now, as you can see, we went pretty heavily into the master skill tree. As this name suggests, Mindflare is actually a Stranger Things reference. The Mindflare is basically the monster that controls the Upside Down Demogorgons. I don't want to sound all nerdy, but that's basically what the Mindflare is, controlling your enemies. And I do want to mention, because I'm going to get this comment probably, I did not put on the Mesmer Grenade to match the whole mind control theme, because I have a certain build planned for that kind of thing, and I don't want to repeat my builds. But yeah, if you want to throw on a Mesmer with this build, you can completely do that. But for the Master Skill Tree, we did go far enough for Dominance so we can get that anti-aggro. Even though we're running Red Fang, it's very nice to get a bigger, tougher enemy out of the fight for, what is it, I think 8 to 12 seconds. We didn't have to put any points into Heat Bites because our class mod gives us 2 points automatically so we can get our Frenzy stacks. We did spec for a little bit of pet damage, and our pet actually does quite a bit of work in this build. Traditionally with Gamma Burst, you would think it's only just to de-aggro yourself, and basically Flak never gets targeted with a build like this. But then again, that could go for any Red Fang build. But on top of that, his pet in this build actually does some nice damage. Like, he will kill badass enemies and all that kind of stuff on his own, which is actually pretty cool. Over to the Hunter skill tree, we did get the Capstone Megavore for that 20% crit chance no matter where we hit the enemy. And on top of that, we did get Galactic Shadow for the crit. This is going to be a more gun damage build. No Guardian Angel Fish Slaps in this build. I'm sorry. I already brought it up. I'm not doing that freaking build. Everyone's doing it. Interplanetary Stalker for the pet damage and normal damage. We got Hunter's Eye for all the amazing effects. That 30% bonus damage to armor is honestly amazing. Now, I was going to make the debate of putting 5 points into agility training because, for me at least, I personally love having a fast reload build. And I just firmly believe that when you're reloading more, you're doing more damage overall. But for the sake of making this simple and not overcomplicating this build for people that don't have the purple tree, I decided to go further into the green tree than I normally would. So yes, I would initially just go deep enough for Lick the Wounds, but we also got Turntail and Run for more damage. and the Fast and the Furious for the pet damage and gun damage. It does help out a lot, and overall, you actually do a little bit more damage. And if you really want to compensate for that reload speed, you can pop over to the Hunter tree and put the 2 points from Grim Harvest into Second Intention if that's what you prefer, if you want more reload. As for the abilities themselves, we do have Gamma Burst alongside Endurance and Empathic Rage. Now, Empathic Rage is just going to give us that 20% extra damage, which is just beautiful. But the reason I went Endurance and not Atomic Aroma is because this isn't really a pet build. I am going to be working on Pet Faction version 3. Is it 3 or are we at 4? We're at either one. I'm working on a lot of builds. You got to bear with me here. But we are actually going to be extending the duration of our Gamma Burst, in turn extending the duration of Red Fang, and on top of that we're getting bonus pet damage, which is up to 50% bonus damage by the end of it, and then our Skag turns into a beast. And speaking of Skags, we are running the Great Horn Skag so we can get the most damage benefits out of it. But you do have the side option of running the Spider Ant Scorcher for that 30% elemental damage and the health regeneration. I say depending on what you're doing, I would opt more towards the Great Horn Skag. But if you're doing something like Guardian Takedown, I would actually prefer the Scorcher. Now, as always, guys, my Guardian Rank is disabled in all of my builds. That's just how I like to roll. The only time Guardian Rank is enabled is when I do the True Takedowns or if I do Hermivorous the Invincible. But other than that, all builds showcased on this channel have no bonus stats, no Guardian Rank perks or buffs or any of that stuff. Now into the inventory. As you guys can see, we have some meta weapons and we have some non-meta weapons. But your main setup is going to be pretty meta gear. Before we get too much into the guns, because I have some explaining to do in that department, let's go into the Revolter. This shield is basically the whole meta of Borderlands right now, just because that 200% shock damage is just amazing, and on top of that, it's going to give us bossing potential on a build that isn't supposed to have bossing potential. Traditionally, with Gamma Burst builds, you don't really see yourself speed killing bosses, but with this, it allows us to do this in any situation. As for the grenade, I went with the Surge with ASE Corrosive, because Corrosive, I believe, is the element that this build lacks, and we can make up for it pretty damn easily with this. But I did get the Pearl. I got it from my playthrough. It took me about an hour and a half of read-only farming, and I got the magazine fire rate roll. Magazine fire rate roll. And I was debating if I wanted that or if I wanted magazine size reload speed, but I just went with fire rate because I figured more DPS. And finally, we have our Red Fang class mod. All this is caught up to level 72. That's why this build took a while. I apologize for that once again, but I caught everything up, even the res, which means absolutely nothing. But anyway, now as for our weapons, we do have, while Gamma Burst is active, 115% bonus radiation damage. Now, this anointment, I think, is bugged in a sense, but we do have this anointment on our No Pew Pew, our Reflux for AoE damage, our Light Show for single target. Our res cannot roll with anointments, but this is just our utility weapon. The OPQ system with the same roll for our shock damage and bossing. The Lucky 7, I've been meaning to get a roll on it, but I'll probably get the roll on it after I record this video. We do have the Plasma Coil alongside the Needle Gun, alongside the Monarch, the No Fun Gun, and finally the back burner for our rocket launcher with Cryo, and they all have the same anointment. But the reason I say I believe this anointment is bugged, I will show you some gameplay here, is when you are running the Gamma Burst augments of, what is it again, Endurance? Yeah, the fact that it extends your action skill duration, I think, is bugged. I think somewhere in the coding to where when Endurance procs, you're getting, I believe, 3 extra seconds of duration, but you're still getting more ASEs. Let me try to explain this. So we're shooting our Light Show and it's only doing shock, correct? So we're going to do a little bit of fighting. And as you can see, we're going to start doing radiation damage with the Light Show, and we're melting, quite obviously. But I want to show you that even when our Gamma Burst is over, we still get the radiation damage. Now, I do want to also mention, they did fix it to where if you switch weapons while Gamma Burst is active, it still does the radiation damage, so I am happy about that. I think that was a change a while back. I just haven't been experimenting with Gamma Burst enough to actually keep up with that. But yeah, it makes this build work a lot more efficiently, and you don't lose out on your 115% damage. But as you guys can see, we're about to run out of Gamma Burst. I'm going to reload one last time. And Gamma Burst is over, correct? But we're going to shoot this thug, and we still have our radiation damage. But granted, we do have our ASE Corrosive, but as you can see, the yellow numbers are still there, giving us our radiation damage. And I'm curious to why this is happening, because I don't have any ASE radiation on anything. All of this is Gamma Burst active alongside Corrosive. So I'm curious why this is occurring, but it only seems to be happening when you are running endurance. So maybe it's a good and a bad thing. If this is a bug, please let me know in the comments down below. If this is just a normal thing with Gamma Burst, let me know. And now granted guys, it is very obvious I am using some pretty meta gear, which is something I traditionally do not enjoy doing. But I want to throw in that if you guys are on console, or if you just simply don't like these guns or using the same guns over and over, take this exact build that I showed you guys here today and just throw your favorite guns with Gamma Burst while active annoyance, and you will have so much fun with this build. You're not going to be getting targeted whatsoever. You could use whatever guns that you enjoy in the game and have fun with them. And honestly, it's a very versatile build. This is one of those builds where you could just have fun with and throw whatever pieces of gear or guns you want onto it, and you'll still have fun regardless. And I like the kind of builds like this to where you can swap out to your liking and you're not locked to the 2 pieces of gear that actually deal damage. But yeah guys, that is basically it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a like on it, as it helps me out a lot and spreads my videos to more people in the Borderlands community. And if you guys want to join the Flag Pack, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to join my Flag Pack Discord, link is also in the description below, right next to this PC save file. Thank you guys so much for the support recently, and honestly, you guys are just awesome. I couldn't ask for better viewers on this channel. You guys always, I don't know, you guys are just very supportive. And yeah, I hope you guys have a terrific day, and I'll see you guys later.